Hello, flamingos, and welcome to Disrupting Obesity. I'm Charlotte Skanes, and I lost over 200 pounds without surgery, without fads, and without hating myself through the process. I'm here to help you unlearn what the diet industry has been feeding you and to talk about what it actually takes to lose weight and keep it off. I want to help you make real mindset shifts and start to build trust with yourself again, all while giving you the tools that you'll need to do it, but without losing yourself or your mind in the process. It might be Monday, but we're not starting over. So brace yourself, Gladys, and let's get into it. Hello, flamingos. Happy Monday. Happy episode 109. Today we are still working on my list of 101 WLTs, the weight loss truths. I'm loving this list. Today we are going to get started with number 60. Number 60 is the 20-minute rule, and it's pretty much the only time I use the word rule in all of the teaching and coaching and the program and everything that I do. I don't like the word rule. We hear the word rule and we automatically just kind of go, oh no, oh God, no. And we all kind of, not everybody, but a lot of people push back when they hear the word rule. We don't like it. And we've all been given way too many rules when it comes to our bodies and when it comes to the way that we're supposed to lose weight. So I don't do rules except for this one, the 20-minute rule. Now, I should probably tell you what it is. Okay, so the 20-minute rule is that it takes your stomach 20 minutes to tell your brain that it's full. That's a long time. Like, it's not a long time in the grand scheme of things, but it's a long time if you're eating. And I mean, I don't know about you. I know how much food I can eat in a 20-minute period. It's a pretty significant amount of food. I mean, I can eat more food in 20 minutes than I need to eat. Let's put it that way. That's for sure. Like, I mean, even now, like I could probably, no, maybe not now, but there have definitely been times in my life, and I like to eat slowly. I always have ever since I was a kid. But I can still, if push comes to shove, like I could easily take down a foot-long sub and a small bag of chips and some cookies and the drink, like whatever came with it. That would be no problem for me in 20 minutes. Here's the problem with that, though. Well, there's a few problems with that, but here's the big one. I wasn't even giving myself a chance. I didn't even know that I could be full. And anyway, sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's slow down. I'm excited today. Let's slow down. Let's back the bus up just a little bit. Okay, breathe. Good plan. Here's why it's important. So when I was about halfway there, I was probably around 100 pounds off, which meant I still had 100 pounds to go. And I was struggling. Everybody kept saying that the last part's the hardest part. It's the hardest at the back end. That was not the case for me. The second 100 felt easier to me than the first 100. And there's a whole bunch of reasons why, but I was very afraid that they were going to feel harder. And the first 100 pounds felt so hard that I wasn't sure if it was going to be harder than it had already been. How was I going to find another gear to be able to handle that? I did, and it didn't end up being harder. It was just harder in my mind, and I was making it bigger and badder than it needed to be. But anyway, so that's kind of the headspace I'm in. I am terrified that I'm going to run out of gas. I'm not going to be able to keep going. It's going to be so much harder. I'm going to give up. All of that stuff's running through my mind. Instead of, by the way, celebrating myself for the incredible feat of having lost 100 pounds. No, that wasn't enough. And obviously it wasn't enough. I still had 100 pounds to lose, but I still should have, I really wish I could have been more proud of myself in the moment. And I wish I could have realized just how significant what I was doing was and how important it was going to be for the rest of my life. And I wish I'd given myself more credit in the moment. I didn't. Hopefully you will, though. Anywho, so there I was in a bit of despair because 100 down, still 100 to go. And I saw this documentary. And it was about obesity because I was also trying to learn as much as I could about my body and about obesity and about nutrition. And I was trying to learn as much as I possibly could so that I didn't end up back in the situation that I found myself in. So I was watching this documentary. It was probably on PBS. And this doctor was talking about how it takes 20 minutes for your stomach to communicate to your brain that you're full. And it was one of those moments you'd see Oprah talking about all the time, the aha moment where it's like your life just slides into slow motion and you're just sitting there going, oh my God, I think everything just shifted for me. That documentary was one of those moments for me. And it was so significant for me because it let me off the hook. I spent so much time blaming myself and doing the guilt and shame spirals and just beating the shit out of myself all the time for the state that I was in. Even though I was doing everything right, even though I was taking the weight off, I was still caught up in blaming myself all of the time for pretty much everything. And for some reason, seeing this man in a white lab coat on my TV telling me that it takes 20 minutes for my stomach to tell my brain that it's full set me free. It just set me free. So much of the guilt and the shame and the blame and all of that shit just went right away. Not quite instantly, but it really did feel that way. Because if it took 20 minutes for my stomach to tell my brain that it was full, that meant that it wasn't all my fault. And I know that sounds probably like some twisted fat girl logic, and I can hear the keyboards just clacking away. You're the one who did the eating. Of course, it's your fault. Blah, blah, blah. Thanks, Gladys. I mean that it wasn't my fault in the sense that if I wasn't even able to know that I was full, how was I supposed to know that I had to stop eating? How was I like, there were all these things that I didn't know, and now I knew, so I could change my behavior. It set me free from the guilt and the shame, and it set me free in the sense that it gave me a goalpost. It gave me something that I could shoot for now. I knew when I needed to start looking for those full cues. I knew when I needed to start listening to my body to try and figure out why I was eating and overeating so much of the time. That's what I mean when I say the 20-minute rule set me free. And you have to understand that this is a food map thing for me too, right? Because in my house growing up, it's not that we had a clear your plate rule per se. Like I know a lot of us grew up in a house where you had to clear your plate, you had to eat everything that was put in front of you. My house was a little bit different. They weren't super strict about that, but the deal was if you took seconds, you had to finish them because you took it, you eat it. We're not having food waste. And I respect and understand that rule. Here was the little problem with me as a person with a broken relationship with food who's battled obesity. Here's the problem. What that did was it set me up for a lifetime of failure. And my parents in no way wanted to set me up for a lifetime of failure. And I am certainly not blaming them. We could go into the whys and the hows of, how they were raised and why this all happened and blah, blah, blah. None of it matters. It is what it is. No backwards, only forward. But here's the thing. So I'm a kid, I'm sitting there eating, I've eaten the food on my plate, and I decide that I want a second helping. Right on. What's going to happen though? I'm going to be partway through eating that second helping when the 20-minute thing kicks in. So now I'm getting these cues from my brain. Hey, 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 you're full. Dude, slow down. What are you doing? You don't need that right now. You've had enough. You're cool. Just stop. And I'm hearing that, but my parents are sitting at the table and I'm looking at that food. And what's going through my head is, you took it, you eat it. You asked for more food. You were very generously given more food. The very least you can do now is eat it. You took it, you eat it. That meant I had a whole childhood of pushing past those fullness cues, those satiety cues, just pushing right through them, keeping going, keeping eating, and just shutting that down. So I kind of feel like maybe my body just hit a point where it went, fuck it. She's not going to hear us anyway. I don't even know why we're trying at this point. Like, and they just, slung their little lunch bags over their shoulders and trudged for home because there was no point because I was just completely going to ignore it anyway. You can see the problem here. So what do you do about it? Well, there's a whole bunch of stuff that you can do about it. A whole bunch of stuff you can do about it here on this list. The bottom line, I guess let's cut it down to just two things. Two things, just for the sake of we're just gunning through things quickly, because I know that we've talked about the 20-minute rule on other episodes of this podcast too. But I'll do two things. You need to slow down and you need to increase your awareness 20 minutes after you've started eating. Okay, I can elaborate on both of those, and maybe I will for just a quick second. So the second one was the paying attention part. So I've told you now, you are now aware of the 20-minute rule too. So 20 minutes into eating, that's the point at which your stomach can start to tell your brain it's full. Maybe you've been ignoring those cues for a while too and pushing past them for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. So pay attention. Just start listening. What's going on? How do I feel? Touch base with yourself 20 minutes after you've eaten. That's kind of more of an abstract thing. On the concrete side, what I think you should be doing is slowing the fuck down. That's what you need to do. You need to give yourself a chance. If you normally have your entire meal consumed within 10 minutes, we're not giving ourselves a chance to feel those satiety feelings for our body to tell us that we're full. You need to slow down. Figure out how long it's taking you to eat right now on average, and then maybe try to find a way to extend that period past the 20-minute mark so that you're giving yourself a chance to see if you're satisfied or not and if you've had enough to eat. Just a thought. Ooh, I've done whole episodes about this little topic too. Actually, not this specific part of this topic, but we have multiple episodes out there where I talk about the whole exercise and losing weight things. So, number 61, adding those calories back to your day that your fitness tracker says that you burned is a super bad idea. Like, there are bad ideas, and then there's this idea. It is a horrible idea. And it's a horrible idea for a few different reasons. Number one, fitness trackers are notoriously unreliable. Notoriously unreliable. Give a little Google to fitness tracker accuracy rates and just take a look at how broad that range can be, with some of them being up to 90% inaccurate. 90, not 1919, 90. So there's that. There's the way that adding calories back onto your day breeds the whole sense of entitlement, which is already a problem when you're looking at exercising as part of your weight loss experience. I'm talking about the calories part here, Gladys. That's the part that I'm talking about. We're being super specific before you send the email. And what I'm referring to here is the permission slips that we start writing when we're exercising because, oh my God, I went for that walk today. I'm pretty sure that I can handle a little bit of extra dinner. I did walk for 20 minutes. Yeah, no, it doesn't. How fast were you walking? How much ground did you cover? Because that's not a lot of calories. It's not. And we've all been misled about how many calories exercise actually burns because of the diet and exercise myth. Whole other thing, whole episodes about it. That's actually on this list too. This right now, though, is specifically you've got an app in your phone or you've got one of those watches or something you wear around your ankle or whatever the case may be. And you can look at that thing and it goes, congratulations, Cheryl. You have burned 832 calories today from exercise. And you're like, I'm a fucking rock star. Way to go, Cheryl. And absolutely, Cheryl, way to go for any of the exercise that you're doing. But here's the thing that I know about you, Cheryl, and you know about you. You work an office job, and the sum total of your exercise today consisted of walking from your house to your car, from the car parking lot at your work there, up into work. Then you worked, you went to the bathroom a couple times, you went to the lunchroom a couple times, you went back to the bathroom a couple times, you got in your car after work. So there was that walk down from the office to the parking lot. You drove home. Maybe you went to the grocery store first, little tootle through Walmart and back home. That does not 839 or however many calories I just said. That does not burn that number of calories. And you and I both know it. So when you're sitting there with your tracking app out at the end of the day and you're like, I'm just going to drop these back on, look at my watch there, see how well at 839 calories back for me. And now you think you're in a deficit today. But okay, we'll do super easy math here. So let's say you're allowed 2,000 calories a day. We just dumped 800 calories back on. So now you think you have 2,800 calories a day. So you eat 2,300 calories a day and you're like, whoop, whoop, I was in a deficit. No, because your tracker was wrong and you weren't actually in a deficit at all. And you should have stuck to the 2,000 calories a day because even that 300 calorie buffer zone that you thought you left yourself there because you burned 800 calories. No, you didn't. So you were actually over in calories today. Or you weren't actually in your deficit. You were closer to your maintenance TEE number, which is fine, but not if you're trying to lose weight. If you're trying to maintain your weight, that's fantastic. If you're trying to lose weight, not so much. It's going to get a little bit frustrating. And then the conversation with yourself is going to start to be, I just don't understand what's happening. I'm burning an average of 839 calories a day extra on top of everything else. And that's the thing, Cheryl, because you have to realize that too. Your TDEE, that number that I keep talking about, the total daily energy expenditure, it starts with a T for total. When you figured that out, when you went online, or maybe you got the link from me, Doesn't matter where you got the link. Your fitness tracker might have done it for you. Splendid. When it did that, it already factored that stuff in. It already did it. That's the eat and the neat, the exercise something thermogenesis and the non-exercise something thermogenesis. Those little acronyms, they're part of your TDEE too. It's already been factored in. So if you start refactoring and adding more calories, all you're doing is adding more calories. All you're doing is making it that much harder for you to get into a deficit and stay in a deficit. This is why I get the phone calls. This is why I get the messages. I'm doing everything right. I don't understand why I'm not losing weight. If you're putting fitness tracker calories back onto your day, that's why. That's definitely a factor. Take a look at it. On today's list, we got a couple more flip sides of the coin. We'll do them one at a time. How about that for a change? Because I feel like I've been clumping them together a little bit in the past few episodes. Number 62, experimenting with food is a good idea. I don't have cable. Sean and I haven't had cable now for over 15 years. I still have TV. Like I've got Netflix and Disney and Prime and all that stuff. I have access to television, but we don't have network TV in our house. And so there's a lot of channels that I don't have, but I do have the Facebook and it shows me clips of stuff all the time. And for a while there, it was showing me some clips. I can't imagine why, of that My 600-Pound Life show. And there was a clip on there that, and I'm sure if I'd see people are going to hear this and it was like, really, a clip upset you? Yeah, there was a clip on there that upset me a lot. And I'm sure if I ever watched a full episode of that show and not just the clips on Facebook, I'm pretty sure there's a lot more that would really upset me about that show. But the thing that upset me about that show was there was a doctor and he had a very heavy set person there. They were trying to get, I think they were trying to get gastric bypass surgery, I think is what they were trying to qualify for. And the doctor, they were talking about food. And I thought this woman was being very candid and very brave. And she was talking about how she feels like a picky eater. And this doctor immediately just shut her down and was like, "You look at you, you're not a picky eater." Basically, he might not have said the look at you part, but it felt like he said, "Look at you. You're not a picky eater." Basically just that nobody your size can possibly be a picky eater. And I sat back and I thought about it for a bit and I was like, no, because I think I'm a pretty picky eater. And I was an even pickier eater when I weighed over 300 pounds. The list of stuff that I ate wasn't that broad. It's not about the variety of your diet that leads to obesity. It's about the calories that lead to obesity. This kind of ties into my whole it's not about the food thing, right? Because it's really not about the food. And I say that you can lose weight eating whatever you want. Yeah, you can. You could lose weight eating the same thing every meal, every day. It wouldn't, as long as you're in a deficit. Well, guess what? The reverse of that is equally true. You can gain weight eating the same food every single day, all day long. If you're in a calorie surplus consistently, you're going to gain weight. So you can be an extremely picky eater and be struggling with obesity. So, and I don't understand how somebody who's supposed to be an obesity expert didn't understand that. Like you would think that he would have had patients before who ate very, restricted diets and had very limited choices and had food aversions and things. I talk to women every day who have very serious food aversions. I, Sorry, I said it upset me. And I know you're all going, yeah, it would have really upset you a whole bunch more if you were to watch more of that show. That's why I don't watch that show. I find, anyway, it's the commodification of obesity. And I think it's just more than slightly exploitative. However, all of that is to say, I do think that a lot of us who struggle with our weight also struggle with trying new foods, with opening ourselves up to new food textures and new food combinations. It's a really good thing to do. And I'm not saying you should like run to the store and buy a whole bunch of food that you've never, no, don't do that. I would not advocate anybody doing that. That feels like a very bad idea to me. What I would say though is try it. Maybe draw up a list. Like I had a little notebook and I would write down things that, maybe if I'm feeling brave enough, I would like to try this. Like I tried artichoke hearts and I know that's probably a super basic food for a lot of people. It was not an easy thing for me to get my head around, and I really enjoyed them. But you all know how avocado went. No, that's just a mouthful. I would honestly, I would rather scoop up Crisco with my fingers and put that in my mouth than have to eat avocado, because to me, it's the exact same thing. It's just, mouthful of fat. No. Anyway, make a little list. If you see like a cool video of something and you're like, oh, I'd like to try that one day. Okay, write it down. Maybe you can try it one day. Maybe it's something you can experiment with now. Maybe there are ingredients that you can try them with things that you know that you do like. I like to put cheese sauce on vegetables, for example. Really helps. I know I like cheese sauce. What's the worst thing that can happen here? Well, I'm going to have a mouthful of a vegetable I don't like with cheese sauce. So I'm probably going to be able to get it down, and I'll know that I don't like that vegetable. But at least I tried something new, or that fruit, or that whatever. I just went, and this is going to hit my social media before this episode comes out. And I'm already nervous. A whole bunch of you wrote in and recommended, and I should have brought them down with me, but recommended these noodles that are made out of roots. I don't I don't know. 17 calories a serving, and they're supposed to be very similar to pasta. Now, you guys have promised, not flamingo specifically. Sorry, I want to redirect this. The toxic food industry has told me numerous times that something was going to be just like noodles, and they lied to me every single fucking time. They've lied to me about the mashed potatoes, and they lied to me about the rice too. So I am more than just a little bit skeptical on this one. But I bought the noodles because a lot of you recommended them, and I'm going to give it a try. Do I think they're going to be good? No. No. Do I have an extremely open mind about this? No. But the door's open a crack. So, and here's the other thing, and we've talked about this very recently on one of these episodes. Keeping the bar low. I'm keeping the bar low. I don't expect that these noodle things are going to, be the best thing that I've ever tasted, or I'm absolutely going to love them. Because when people make food recommendations, you don't know where their palate's at. Like maybe people who have, although I did have one very, very, very adamant person about trying these noodles, but the people who've recommended them, you don't know where they're at, right? It's like if somebody's recommending baking, but they've been gluten-free for a really long time, it's going to be a different experience for you. And I would think noodles would be the same. When it comes to pasta, like if someone hasn't eaten normal pasta in a very long time, a few years maybe, or maybe they've never even had pasta, and they have these root noodle things, they'll be like, this is fantastic. This must be just as good as spaghetti. Okay, well, we're going to find out. So that's coming up. But it's about the experimenting. It's about trying something completely new, maybe not completely, but maybe just a couple little footsteps outside of your comfort zone, because you never know what you might discover that you like. And that's a big part of changing your relationship with food, is sometimes actually changing the food, having a willingness to try new things, to maybe not enjoy some things, to at least, but maybe it isn't enjoying everything that you try, but at least you'll be able to say that you tried it. Plus you're showing yourself that, you're being brave and you're doing things that are a little bit hard. And that's always a good thing, especially when you're doing something as hard as losing weight already. All right. So I told you there's a flip side, and there's a big flip side. And some of you are going to be like, that's not actually a flip side. That's just you talking out of both sides of your face at once. No, I promise you, this is going to make sense. Just bear with me. Honestly, it feels almost funny to say this out loud after we just did this last bit, but I'm standing by this. This is number 63. Don't eat food you don't like. I know, and I know what I just said. I'm fully aware of WLT number 62. I know. Number 63 is still don't eat foods you don't like. It's a bad idea. Here's the problem there. Forcing yourself to eat food you don't like is a different thing from experimenting with food. When we're experimenting with food, it's an experiment. So ostensibly, we don't know what's going to happen. And just the fact that we're willing to experiment with it means that, like me, you've left the door open a teeny tiny crack to maybe allow a positive experience in. Perfect. That's all I'm asking for. When you already know that you don't like something, forcing yourself to eat it just leads to what? It leads to eating foods that you do like later on anyway. Problem? The calories from the food you don't like still count. Still counts. I wish they didn't. I wish if you ate something and you were like, oh my God, that was disgusting. I am never eating that again. That was awful. Can't wait to forget about it. I wish those calories didn't count. They do. They do. So you make yourself eat whatever. I don't know what foods are disgusting for you. Let's pick me then. Okay, so you force yourself to eat a piece of multigrain gravel with bread, multigrain bread. You force yourself to eat a piece of multigrain bread with avocado on it. I did anyway. I'm making myself eat it. So I've got a mouthful of gravel and I've got a mouthful of fat all at the same time, which is just, to me, that's the perfect texture combination. Something gritty and crunchy and at the same time that I have a mouth basically just filled with lard. Wonderful. Nothing like biting through something soft to something that could break your teeth. It's a wonderful experience. Okay, fine. So I'm going to make myself eat it, which I got to be honest with you. And if you remember the whole food can be healthy but not be helpful thing, it's not a great choice anyway. But okay, so someone has told me that avocado toast is the way to lose weight. So I'm going to start my day off every day. That's what we're going to do. It's going to be breakfast. Breakfast of champions. Perfect. Bikini body, here I come. So all right, so I've got my my avocado toast and I'm gagging that down. But I hate it. I hate every single bite of it. I hate every mouthful of it. And maybe for you, it's grapefruit. Maybe for you, it's cabbage soup. Let's just do all the old diets. Maybe for you, it's boiled eggs. I don't know what it is, but maybe for you, it's one of those things. And you make yourself eat them because you've been told it's how to lose weight and it's healthy. Perfect. You're going to lose weight. Just eat it. Fine. I'm going to eat it. So eat it, you do. And then what happens? Then you go eat something you actually do like. You do, because that's what happens, because you're not feeling satisfied, because you have to be. And I'm not saying that the multi-grain toast with the avocado on it isn't physically satisfying. Of course it is. That's a beautifully nutrient dense meal. It would be very, very satisfying. It would take a while for me to digest it. It would feel great. So my body is like, woohoo, more avocado toast. But me, the me that lives inside of my body, is like, fuck this avocado toast. I really wanted something else. I really wanted a hot dog with cheese whiz. I really wanted a slice of pizza. I really wanted some chicken wings, whatever the fuck it was that I really wanted, that honestly probably had the same amount of calories as the goddamn avocado toast. But I didn't have that. I ate the stupid avocado toast instead. Now I have no calories left. I'm tired. I'm hungry. I might not be physically hungry, but emotionally right now, I am starving because I forced myself to eat all this food that I don't like. And now what am I left with? Well, now I'm left with the choice of sitting here, being miserable and getting more miserable by the minute and just spiraling, or I can just go eat the stuff that I actually wanted to eat in the first place. Okay. Well, here's me sitting here saying, just eat the food that you wanted to eat in the first place. Get yourself into a calorie deficit and eat whatever the fuck you want. Don't make yourself eat food you don't like. It's really not helping. Gladys, I know, don't, please, don't. Yes, eating foods you don't like is sometimes a good idea because it helps promote nutrition and it helps promote overall health and all that stuff. I got it. Today, that's your lane. My lane today is weight loss. And I'm not as worried about that part. That part we can deal with later. Let's worry about the weight for now. Let's prioritize our concerns just a smidgen. All right, I know that we only made it through 4 today. I don't know. At this point, I'm not even sure that I'm trying to gun through them as quickly as I can. And I look back on that first episode in this series, and I think I did like 20 or something on the first day. And now I go back and I'm like, oh, shoot, I wish I'd said this. I wish I'd said that. So I'm taking my time just a little bit more. Next week, we're going to come back. We're going to pick up the list at number 64. I hope that you're having an absolutely amazing summer, and I'll see you next week. Thank you for listening, and thank you for doing the work. This isn't easy, but you're still here, and that counts. It matters. You're showing up. If you've subscribed, shared, or left a review, thank you. It really does help more than you know, and it also makes it easier for other women to find this podcast so they feel a little less alone on their journey. If you want more support, resources, or info on the program or the membership, check out disruptingobesity.com or come see what I'm up to over on Instagram. You know where to find me. Come tell me how I can be helpful. And in the meantime, keep trying, keep tracking, don't be intimidated, and don't give up. You totally got this.